Well, hello there. Sion Batson here from Sion Batson Tutoring, and in this video we will be factoring quadratic equations. Very important concept for all of my students taking the Algebra 1 regions, the Algebra 2 regions, the Geometry regions, the GED exam, pre-college students, and even if you are a first or second year college student, this video is for you. So join me. Now, quadratic equations are also called trinomials because they have three terms. Tri meaning three. Also, the general form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. A will always be the coefficient of the squared term, b will be the coefficient of the term that's not squared, and c will be your constant. So, a, b, and c are all real numbers. Now, in this video, a will be equal to 1 in all the equations that we factor. Just keep that in mind. Now, let's go to our exercise. In our first equation here, we have x squared plus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. Now, I can put a 1 here because we know that when the variable is by itself, the coefficient is always 1. With that said, a will be equal to 1 because 1 is the coefficient of the squared term. B will be equal to positive 6 and c will be equal to positive 8. Get the idea? Now, I will teach you 3 very simple steps that you can use to help you master this concept of factoring quadratic equations. Here are the steps. Step 1, you will list 2 positive factors of the squared term. Step 2, you will list a factor pair of c that we can add to get b. Now, once we have the 2 positive factors of the squared term and a factor pair of c that we can add to get b, we will use those factors to help us factor the equation. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Again, the first equation here we have x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now, the first step would be to find or list 2 positive factors of the squared term. The squared term here in this example is x squared. So we list 2 positive factors of x squared. 2 positive factors of x squared are x and x. Why? Because x times x is equal to x squared. So we are done with step 1. Step 2. We have to list a factor pair of c that we can add to get b. In this example, we have to list a factor pair of positive 8 that we can add to get positive 6. Now, the easiest way to go about this is to first list factor pairs for positive 8. We will list factor pairs for positive 8 and then see which of those factor pairs we can add to get positive 6. Okay? So let's list factor pairs for positive 8. So we know we can use 8 times 1 because 8 times 1 is 8. And we can also use what? 2 times 4 because 2 times 4 is 8. Now, which of these factor pairs can we add to get positive 6? We can use 2 and 4. Why? Because 2 plus 4 is 6. So the factor pair of c that we can add to get b is 2 and 4. Or the factor pair of positive 8 that we can add to get positive 6 is 2 and 4. So we will put that factor pair right here, 2 and 4. Now, for step 3, to factor the equation, we will use the first factor of the squared term and the first factor of positive 8. So we have our first factor of the equation, x and positive 2, or x plus 2. Now, for the second factor of the equation, we will use the second factor of the squared term, which is the second x, and we will use the second factor of positive 8, which is we use positive 4. So we have successfully factored the equation. The factors of the equation are x plus 2 and x plus 4. if we were to multiply x plus 2 times x plus 4, we will get x squared plus 6x plus 8. So far, so good? Let's do a next one. Now, this is a very, very important concept for all high school students. If you're in high school, or you're a first or second year college student, this is a concept you must master. If you're taking the GED exam, oh yes, must master this concept. Yes, let's try x squared plus 2x take 24 is equal to 0. Now, step 1 is to list two positive factors of the squared term. The squared term in this example again is x squared. And we know that from the first example, two positive factors of x squared are x and x. Because x times x is x squared. So we are done with step 1. Step 2, we have to what? List a factor pair of c that we can add to get b. In this example, b is positive 2, yeah? And c is negative 24. So we have to list two factors of negative 24 that we can add to get positive 2. So let's first list a few factor pairs of negative 24. We know we can use what? We can use negative 24 and 1, or 24 times negative 1. Yeah? We can use negative 2 times 12, or negative 12 times 2. Yeah? We can use negative 3 times 8, or negative 8 times 3. We can also use what? We can also use negative 4 times 6, or negative 6 times 4. Yes? Now, which of these factor pairs can we add to get positive 2? Do you see it? We can use negative 4 and positive 6. Yes? Why? Because negative 4 times positive 6 is negative 24, and negative 4 plus 6 is positive 2. So we have found the factor pair of c that we can add to get b, or we have found the factor pair of negative 24 that we can add to get positive 2. And that factor pair is, say it, let me hear, negative 4 and positive 6. Yes? Now, let's go and factor the equation. Now, for the first factor of the equation, we will use the first factor from the square term. So we'll use the first x, and we'll use the first factor of negative 24, which is negative 4. Now, if you want to, you can use positive 6 first. But it doesn't matter. Okay? Now, for the second factor of the equation, we will use what? The second x, or the second factor of the squared term, and the second factor of negative 24, which is positive 6. And we're done. So the factors of this equation are x take 4 and x plus 6. If we were to multiply x take 4 times x plus 6, we will get x squared plus 2x minus 24. Yeah? If we were to multiply x minus 4 times x plus 6, we will get x squared plus 2x minus 24. How are you feeling? Good? Yes. I hope you're enjoying the video. I hope you are learning. I hope you are getting the concept. Hope you're having fun. Now, what I want you to do now, I'm going to put one on the board, and I want you to try it. Let's try x squared. Take 11x plus 10 equals 0. I want you to pause the video, try it, yes, and then come back and see if we get the same factors, yeah? Pause the video and then come back and see if we get the same answer, yeah? X squared minus 11x plus 10. Now, come back. Step 1, the first step will be to list two positive factors of the squared term. The squared term here is x squared. And we know that from the previous two examples, we can use x and x. So we are done with step 1. Now, in this example, b is negative 11, c is positive 10. We have to list a factor pair of positive 10 that we can add to get negative 11. So we will start by listing factor pairs of positive 10. Now here's a quick note. Because the b term is negative, we will have to use negative factors when listing the factors of positive 10. Because remember, when we add the factors, we need to get a negative integer. So keep that in mind. So let's go. Let's list the factors of positive 10. So we know we can use 5 times 2 and 10 times 1. 5 times 2 is 10, 10 times 1 is 10. However, if we add 5 and 2, we will get 7, not negative 11. And if we add 10 and 1, we will get positive 11. But we need to get negative 11. So we have to try some negative factors. So we can do negative 10 times negative 1 and negative 5 times negative 2. Now, which of these factor pairs can we add to get negative 11? Can you see it? We can use negative 10 and negative 1. Yes, because negative 10 times negative 1 gives us positive 10, and negative 10 plus negative 1 gives us negative 11. Yeah, I'll say it again. Negative 10 times negative 1 will give us positive 10, and negative 10 plus negative 1 will give us negative 11. Clear? So the two factors, or the factor pair of positive 10 that we can add to get negative 11 are, let's put it in red, negative 10 and negative 1. Yeah? Negative 10, negative 1. Good so far? Now, let's factor. For the first factor of the equation, we will use the first factor of the square term, which is x, and the first factor of positive 10, which is negative 10. Then we'll use the second factor of the squared term, which is the second x, and the second factor of positive 10, which we used was negative 1. Yes? So we have successfully factored the equation. The factors are x take 10 and x minus 1. If I were to multiply x take 10 times x minus 1, I will get x squared minus 11x plus 10. How was that? Now, even if you solve or you try to factor this equation and you didn't get the correct factors, that's fine. Try it again. Erase your work. Go watch the previous two videos, yeah? And then you can always come back and try it again. The key, however, is to practice. Practice as much as you can until you master this concept. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I really hope you find it useful. Until next time, enjoy your math homework and remember to practice. See you.